What's going on, soldiers? Welcome to Whiteboard Bible Studies for those who are new and for those who are returning viewers and or subscribers to this channel. Welcome back. This is day 9 of our journey as we're going to be reading Genesis chapter 9, which in the Hebrew will be Genesis will be pronounced Bereshith. For those who aren't familiar with this channel, we're going to be reading the entire Bible, chapter by chapter, from the front of the book to the very back. I am reading out of the Sefer translation, so some words are going to be in the Hebrew. Typically, I have a chart for certain words I haven't already went over, where I take the Hebrew translation of a word and I turn it to the English, so that people who don't have a translation that's these words in Hebrew, they have an understanding of what I'm saying. All right. If you are not familiar with the first 8 chapters of the Bible, or you haven't seen the first 8 videos, please do yourself a favor and go and watch the first 8 videos, and also read the first 8 chapters of the Bible so that you can have a better understanding and more context into what I'm about to get into right now, which is chapter 9. A lot of these chapters are building upon each other, so like I said, if you know what's before, then you will have a better understanding. You will have more context into what's being talked about, and you won't be, lost or whatever. All right. This is verse 1. And Elohiym blessed Noach and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moves upon the earth, and upon all the fish of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that lives shall be meat for you. Even as the green herb, I have given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of man. And at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For the image of Elohiym he made man. And you be ye fruitful and multiply. Bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply therein. And Elohiym spoke unto Noach and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood, neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And Elohiym said, This is the sign of my covenant. This is the sign of the covenant which I made between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and I shall be for a sign of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between Elohiym and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And Elohiym said unto Noach, This is the sign of the covenant, which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth. Verse 18. And the sons of Noach that went forth of the ark were Shem and Cham and Japheth. And Cham is the father of Canaan, or Canaan in the English. These are the 3 sons of Noach, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. So for those who don't know what the word husbandman means, I have it right here in this definition chart. And so a husbandman is one whose business it is to cultivate the soil, or a farmer in more layman's terms. All right. Verse 21. And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Cham, the father of Canaan, which is Canaan in English, saw the nakedness of his father and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be Yahuah Elohiym of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Elohiym shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tents of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. And all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. So that is the completion of Genesis chapter 9. So I have a few thoughts from this chapter, a few things that I took away, even a question that I have. So first and foremost, this is a depiction of the rainbow that he said will be a sign of the covenant that he made with Noah and his three sons, that he will not destroy the earth by flood again. So that's what this is right here. This is the depiction. You got the clouds, got the rainbow. Okay? Now, this question that I'm about to pose, I know it's going to have a lot of critiques from different sides, I believe. And that's exactly what that's what I want. This channel is a way for us to fellowship with one another. All right, sorry I had to pause the video for a second. My daughter was crying and stuff, so I had to, tend to that. But anyway, so as I was saying, the question that I'm about to pose, I know it's going to be a lot of, not even debate, but just different thoughts. Because, okay, so it said, Yahuah made every moving thing that lives meat for them, but told them not to eat flesh with the lifeblood thereof. Now, I'm trying to figure out, there was a chapter from earlier. I want to say it was like chapter 2 or 3, when it was speaking about, he gave man the fruits and the herbs to eat. And I touched on me being a vegan, for those who don't know. And but I didn't really go too much deep into it. But the question that I take away from this is, so obviously from reading this, it's stating basically that Yahuah made meat, right, which is going to be animals and things like that. He made those things as long as the blood is not in it, right? The lifeblood is not in it. He made those things edible for us, right? Like he made it so that we could actually eat those things. Now, one thing from a lot of the research that I've done being a vegan, one of the biggest reasons that I stopped eating meat, and dairy and things like that as well, salt, sugar, all that, artificial foods, processed foods and things like that, is because it was a lot of evidence, right? It was a lot of people who have been living the vegan life, having eating raw diets and things of that nature. And it has been proven that eating flesh, animal flesh, there is a lot of negative and a lot of, consequences that our bodies go through when we eat animal flesh. And so for me, when I think about it, I kind of question, why would the Most High make it okay for us to eat meat when, again, there's been a lot of evidence, there's been a lot of clear, you know what I'm saying, research that has shown that eating meat, especially eating meat in high amounts, is actually pretty detrimental, you know what I'm saying, to humans, to our health. When it comes to the type of teeth that we have compared to other animals that are carnivores, right, that do eat flesh, right, our teeth are different. Something else that, I learned is that when it comes to our guts, right, when it comes to a lot of, if not every other animal that eats, that eats flesh, they typically have guts that are a lot larger. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they have multiple guts, right, to where they can actually break down animal flesh, right? They can break down flesh a lot more easier and things like that. And so for me personally, I kind of question, if that statement is true. Once again, one thing that I know is that a lot of, the Bible has been edited, right? A lot of things have been changed in the Bible, right? Throughout the years. And I really do question if this is one of those things. Also, now I remember where I actually talked about me being a vegan and stuff. That was when the story of Cain and Abel, right? When it was saying that, or in the Hebrew it would be Cain and Havel. I remember in that video, what I said was, I find it funny that the Most High, Yahuah, accepted an offering of the firstlings of Abel's flock, but he did not respect Cain's offering of, the fruits, right? Because he was a tiller of the ground. That, like I said, didn't make sense. That kind of was something that I was, I kind of think is kind of funny. Again, because it's like, another thing that I think about also is that animals, they do have spirits just like we have spirits, right? They can feel, they have senses and things like that. And so it brings me back to certain videos of when a cow is about to go and get slaughtered, or when any other animal is about to go and get slaughtered, what do you see? You see tears, you see them crying, you see them, in fear, because they know that they're about to get slaughtered. They know what's about to happen to them. And so with that being the case, it just kind of, it's alarming to me that the Bible will say that Yahuah made flesh, right, for us to eat, as long as the lifeblood is not within it. I just really find that kind of funny personally. But again, anyone who, has any other thoughts that's contrary, or anyone who want to build on what I'm saying, please comment in the comment section about that. Let's discuss that, because that's definitely something I would love to, get more of a understanding of. So that's one thing I took away from it. Well, there's one question I had about this chapter. Now, another thing I took away from this chapter was, and I didn't put a star by it, but it was this one right here when it said Noah cursed Canaan, which is the son of Cham, or that's Canaan in the English. After Cham saw his father drunk and naked and didn't cover him. Now, this is interesting because it's like, okay, generational, right, curses is a thing that I've always learned growing up. I always learned about generational curses, and you should break those off of your family, off your bloodline. Now, it's interesting that Noah, he didn't curse his son for seeing him naked and not doing anything about it. He cursed his grandson, right, his son's son. He skipped over his own son. He said, nah, because you didn't cover me while I was naked and I was drunk, I'm not gonna curse you, but I'm gonna curse your descendant, right? I'm gonna curse my own grandson because of what you did. And that was just something interesting to me, because it's like, first off, he cursed his own grandson. That's interesting. But then also on a larger scale, it kind of goes into how when the Israelites, and this is a little bit deeper, we didn't get into that, so I'm jumping a little bit ahead. But when the Israelites it was steadily going against the commands, right? And going against the covenants that the Most High had made with them, right? And following out the other nations and things like that. He didn't only curse them, but he cursed their descendants, right? He cursed their whole entire bloodlines and said that, y'all going to be slaves to other nations. That's foreign. And all the other stuff that he said in Deuteronomy, we'll get to that, down the line. But that's just interesting that, Noah cursed his grandson for the sins or for the actions of his own son. He jumped past his son and cursed his grandson and said that he's going to be a servant of servants to Shem and Japheth, right? His two, those would be his two uncles. So that was just something interesting that I took away from this chapter as well. It was a lot in this chapter, actually. This chapter was very informative. Had a lot of just a lot of different things, a lot of different notes that, like I said, I took. So yeah, like I said, anybody who has any comments, any questions, definitely leave them in the comment section so we can just, fellowship, we can just build, what I'm saying, off one another and discuss our thoughts, you know what I'm saying? So thank y'all for stopping by watching this video. If you ain't subscribed to this channel and you like the content, please feel free to subscribe so that you can stay up to date when I drop, more videos. And thank y'all. Stay blessed. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.